Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we'll be breaking down the full card of Burns versus Brady. This event's actually pretty decent. It's got some decent fights on there, and 12 fights on the card is here as well. Unfortunately, it's at the Apex again, but it is what it is. First up, we've got here OSP versus Ryan Spann on the card. OSP, veteran in the sport, former title challenger. His style is more stay in range, throwing a lot of low kicks, body kicks, and popping the 1-2. He's got a nice left hand there too on his stand up, and also known for his jiu-jitsu with his dash chokes and guillotine chokes. And going against someone like Ryan Spann here, Ryan Spann doesn't look too good himself in the UFC as well. He's not got knocked out by Anthony Smith's brother here, Bogdan. He's also lost to Anthony Smith by split decision, was not a good look, and submitted by Krylov. So Ryan Spann, with his stand-up, doesn't really throw too much leg kicks, more front kicks to the body, a lot of 1-2s. He does have power, but he hasn't really knocked out anyone for a while here, almost 2 years. Dominic Reyes was the last knockout. Offensively, he's good with his submission. He's got good submissions offensively, but defensively, he's not that great with his jiu-jitsu. He's been submitted a fair bit as well, so a lot of people are going to go Ryan Spann with TKO, which is understandable, but I'm going to go Ryan Spann here. I'm going to go against the community with the 19%. I'm going to go Ovince, say Preux with his veteran experience, so yeah, low confidence pick with that one. Next up, we've got Rongzhu versus Chris Padilla. Rongzhu here is coming up a win streak here on the road to UFC. He has had a couple of UFC fights as well before the road to UFC, and he's more of a pressure striker, mixes up his leg kicks with the combinations. I've noticed he's got some decent offensive, he's got some good submissions on his record too. He's got a lot of knockouts, but he gets taken down a bit too, I've noticed as well in his fights, but he does get back up, so he's not too bad in that department. Going against someone like Chris Padilla, I feel like he's going to be coming in, mixed up his striking, but he's not going to stay on the stand-up. He's going to mix up his takedowns. And he's coming up for a submission win here, rear naked choke, so he's got some good jiu-jitsu himself there too. So it's going to be a hard fight to predict this one. It could go either way. Chris Padilla is looking pretty decent himself, but he's got less fights in the UFC compared to Rongzhu, where you see Rongzhu has that veteran experience in the UFC before road to UFC as well. So he has fought a couple of years back in the UFC, and now he's trying to make his way back there as well. So look, I'm gonna go with Rongzhu here. It's a low confidence pick, but I feel like the veteran experience will pay off because Padilla's only just got one fight in the UFC there. So yeah, Rongzhu's a pick here, 76% with the community, and 24% people are going with Padilla. Next up, we've got Gabriel Santos versus Yizha. This is actually another decent matchup. Gabriel Santos coming off 2-fight losing streak, but I feel like these guys are quite high up there, like Roy Murphy, David Anama also pretty much rate, and that was almost a year ago. Jesus Christ! So Gabriel Santos is another guy. He's very tall for the division as well, and chin up high. Throws a lot of 1-2s and mix up his leg kicks, but he tries to mix his combinations with takedowns as well. So, you know, he did well in the last fight there as well, getting takedowns on an armor. But yeah, he still got the loss. But before that, he had a couple of wins in the LFA. So he's well rounded, and he's also good off his back, setting up submissions there with the triangles and stuff like that, or the armbar. Yeah, going against someone like Yizha. Yizha's more of a striker as well, and he's also got some good jiu-jitsu as well. But I'm a bit skeptical on this one because, yeah, Yizha's another guy that gets taken down as well. So, but he does it better on the ground with scrambles. So, I don't know. This is a tough pick as well. This is a close fight. Yeah, I feel like Santos, is gonna be the better striker compared to Yizha in this matchup, and I feel like that experience, even though the losses, I feel like he did pretty well in those matchups, even though he lost. I feel like that experience will pay off there against Yizha. So Santos is a pick here. Yizha's also got some decent submissions on his record too, but I don't think he will submit Santos. I think Santos is going to be too well rounded for Yizha. So Gabriel Santos is a pick here. Next up, we've got André Petroski versus Dylan Budka. I feel like this is like André Petroski is coming back pretty quick. He only fought like a month ago on the Namajunas versus Cortez card. I feel like this is a big step down in competition against Josh Friend for André Petroski. Obviously in that last fight there, he did a lot of laying praying. Before that, he lost to Jacob Malcolm. He lost to Michelle Pereira. And but yeah, before that he had a couple of win streak going there against Turman and Mershort. He's pretty good with striking, like he stays in range. He's got some nice combinations there in the pocket. And yeah, he's very heavily invested to getting his takedowns. Yeah, that last fight was pretty bad. Like he did get the fight to the ground, but at least he's got control over his opponent. So we can see that in his last fight when he get the fight to the ground, he definitely has control of the opponent, but wasn't much activity going on there with the ground and pound and whatnot. But yeah, he's got some decent jiu-jitsu himself as well on the ground. He's got a couple of submissions on his record. But I feel like he's just not too confident on his striking. When he does strike, he does get hit a lot too. So going against someone like Dylan Budka, I feel like André Petroski he's definitely the veteran in this matchup here compared to Budka. Budka he is coming up, has got to win the contender series, and he lost to Almeida. I feel like Almeida is too much of a step up in competition there for Budka. So Dylan Budka, he is like, I wouldn't rate his striking too great. He has a chin up in the air. He was just kind of like be really heavy on his grappling. He's not confident in striking at all. He's not very accurate too, from what I've seen. So yeah, I think the better striker in this matchup here is just going to be André Petroski. I don't think Dylan Budka will be getting this fight to the ground. I'd be quite surprised if he does get a couple of takedowns on André Petroski. It'd be quite curious how good his grappling and wrestling is compared to André Petroski, but I'm going to go with Petroski here. I think his strike is going to be better in this matchup, and I feel like he's would defend takedowns against Dylan Budka as well. So it'll be quite interesting to see if this fight hits the ground. A lot of people are going 91% with Petroski and 9% with Budka, which is understandable because, like I said, Budka is a big step down in competition compared to Josh Friend. I don't understand what the UFC is doing there. I feel like this is just a bit of a filler fight on the card. Next up, we've got Isaac Dulgarian versus Brendon Marotte. Yeah, I feel like this is another step down in competition for Isaac Dulgarian. A lot of people thought that Isaac won his last fight there against Christian Rodriguez. He was very heavy wrestling in the first 2 rounds of Christian Rodriguez. Some say, yeah, he could have banked 2 rounds and then but again, a lot of people thought that he lost the last round 10-8. That last round against Christian Rodriguez. So he's got pretty good striking, like very heavy on the leg kick there. Kind of like presses forward with combinations and then tries to level change really quick with his takedown. So very heavy grappler and wrestler. I do rate him. His wrestling very good, but excuse me. But his last fight there, you could see he gassed out. So was starting to gas out towards the 3rd round. He had a first round finish over Francis Marshall, took him down with a ground and pound. So he's not, I wouldn't say he's too much of a lay and pray guy. He's actually not a bad fighter. I do rate him, to be honest. He does try to, get some ground and pound and doesn't really try to do what André Petroski did to his last fight against Josh Friend. So very well rounded. Going against someone like, he's also got some good submissions on his record too, on the outside of the UFC, I've noticed as well. Going against someone like Brendon Marotte. Brendon Marotte got knocked out by Terrence McKinney, so he didn't get to show off his skills there. Outside the UFC, I noticed Marotte is pretty decent striking, but he has a chin up in the air as well a lot. He clinches a lot and throws knees up in the middle. And yeah, also got some decent submission jiu-jitsu on the ground there too. So I'm gonna go Isaac Dulgarian because I feel like this is a big step down in competition for Dulgarian compared to Christian Rodriguez. 3% are going with Marotte, Brendon Marotte. Very heavily with the ground and pound there. Maybe a TKO ground and pound for Dulgarian. 80, almost 80% going with community going with that. 97% are going with the just a normal decision there for Dulgarian. So Dulgarian's a pick here. Next up, we've got Jaqueline Amorim versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Oh my god, I'm gonna butcher that fucking name. So with this matchup here, Jaqueline Amorim coming off a 2-fight win streak. Before that, she lost to Sam Hughes, which is crazy because I picked against Sam Hughes the last fight and then she proved me wrong. So yeah, that was a quite interesting fight there with Sam Hughes last time. Wouldn't say she's the best striking. Comes in forward, throws a lot of combinations, and then just really tries to invest in those takedowns. And she's got some very good jiu-jitsu on the ground there too. Yeah, I wouldn't rate her striking the best in this matchup. I feel like Vanessa's got to be the girl popping the 1-2s on the stand-up, and she'd probably be the girl hitting a bit harder than what Jaqueline would on the stand-up. And but the problem with Vanessa there is she gets taken down a lot, and yeah, it gives up a lot of position on the ground there. So it's an interesting matchup because I feel like even Amorim, I saw that loss there against Sam Hughes. She was gassing out towards the end, and Sam Hughes was taking over the fights there. So I'm a bit curious because like whether she's fixed that gas tank of hers, and because these last couple of fights they're all pretty much first round finishes. Like she got Corey McKenna caught up in an armbar, which is quite impressive. Corey McKenna's pretty decent as well from what I've seen. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah, I'm not too sure with this one. It could go either way. It could be, Vanessa throwing a lot of output out there and getting a decision win with a striking output, or it could be a Amorim controlling her on the ground with the majority. So yeah, it's a hard one, this one. Vanessa's had some win. Yeah, this is a bit hard. She was taken down by Kanaka and Murata too, from what I've seen with Vanessa, but she finds a way to win. And a lot of people are picking Amorim with 82% and 18 with Demopoulos, whatever her name is, Vanessa. I'm gonna go with Vanessa here. I feel like she'll find a way to win and keep this on the feet and outstrike Jaqueline Amorim. I feel like Amorim's just, yeah, she's good with the grappling, but the gas tank as well. I just don't think it's gonna be too great on the 3 rounds there. So low confidence pick, but I'm gonna go opposite against community. They got an A2 with Amorim. Like I said, I'm gonna go with 18% Vanessa with Vanessa here on the striking there. So yeah, low confidence pick on that. Next up, we've got André Lima versus Felipe dos Santos. This is also another great matchup here as well. André Lima is he's more of a striker. If you see he's on a win streak as well, and you see his last fight, it was pretty close, to be honest. So he will stay in range, throw a lot of leg kicks, and mixing up his combination with striking. He did get taken down a bit too in the last fight, but he did well to get up. Felipe is also the same too, but I feel like Felipe is more of a counter striker compared to André Lima. But Felipe, I feel like keeps his chin up pretty high there in his fights too, so he could get dropped too. Both guys target the leg kicks. The more like they don't really use it boxing too much. So Felipe does have a good jab, and had a loss there against Manu Cape. He was constantly taken down there, and even the last fight there, he had a split decision win. But I've noticed he's got holes too, getting taken down. But in this matchup, I feel like when the fighter hits the ground, I feel like Felipe dos Santos does more with trying to get submissions on the ground. Like he'll go straight for the gilly, or he'll use that for defense to try to get up on his feet too. So it's a hard matchup with this one. Both guys are good, to be honest, but I'm gonna go with Dos Santos here. I feel like he's gonna go with more submission threats on the ground. And I feel like he's gonna throw more output in this matchup here. So low confidence pick with Felipe Dos Santos. Sorry about that. Also show you guys the picks here. 43% by decision against for Lima and 57% decision win by community with Dos Santos. So low confidence pick. It's going to be a close matchup, I feel like. It's all going to come down to who's going to throw more output, who's going to get hit the most as well. So next up, we've got Kyle Nelson versus Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is a late replacement here. He's fought only a couple of weeks ago as well. Kyle Nelson coming up a win against Bill Algeo and 4 months ago. Kyle Nelson's more of a guy, likes to be really heavy grappler. I wouldn't rate his striking too much, to be honest. Yeah, he gets hit a bit. He's actually, no, I wouldn't say, yeah, he does get hit a bit, yeah. But his defense is not that shit either. His defense, I feel like, has gotten better since that draw against Du Choi. So he's got some decent striking, but yeah, he tries to favor more on grappling and trying to get fights on the ground and shit like that. Going against someone like Steve Garcia, I feel like he's going to be the better striker. He's more of a sniper. But then again, like when he does rush in and throw combinations, he does get hit a fair bit too. But he's got the power there too. But I don't think it's going to be that easy to knock Kyle Nelson out on the feet here. Yeah, I feel like his defense is up there for Kyle Nelson. And Steve Garcia's got some decent takedown defense as well. So it's a bit of a hard one, this one. I'm going to go with... Fuck, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kyle Nelson. I feel like he's going to be... I feel like he's going to be better with his defense there. He won't get in a striking battle too much with Steve Garcia, and he'll use his grappling more. So I'm going to go against the community. A lot of people are going to go with Garcia 70% knockout, but I don't think it's going to be that easy to knock out Kyle Nelson. And Kyle Nelson's obviously 30% by decision. I'm going to go with 30% by decision. I'm going to go with a lot of underdog picks in this one. I wouldn't say underdogs, but me going against the community. So, because I feel like Kyle Nelson's been there and done that with bigger, like, yeah, I feel like he's got more experience in the UFC compared to Steve Garcia. So, yeah, Kyle Nelson's a pick, but I might get proved wrong with that. Next up, there's Trevor Peek versus Yanal Ashmouz. Trevor Peek here is coming off a loss against Charlie Campbell. I don't really rate, and he's got a win over him, Muhammad Yahya. I don't really rate Trevor Peek too much. Like, since that Chepe Marasco fight, yeah, he's calmed down a bit. He throws a lot less output. Like, he's decent with his offensive striking, but he gets fucking hit a lot too, over what I've noticed as well. He's another guy that likes to try to grapple more and try to get the fight to the ground and uses wrestling and whatnot. And get more brownie points to control time. So, yeah, he's trying to mix it up more since that Chepe fight, I've noticed as well. And going against someone like Yanal Ashmouz, I've noticed he gets taken down a bit too in his last couple of fights. And he's come off a loss against Chris Duncan there. He does get out-grappled too against the fence, I've noticed a lot too. Yanal Ashmouz, he constantly moves back in his last fight there too. So, I feel like Trevor Peek is going to pressure him and constantly put Yanal on the back foot. And I feel like Yanal doesn't do well on the back foot as well. And look, he's got a knockout over Sam Patterson, but Sam Patterson keeps his fucking chin up very high. So that's a decent win there because Sam Patterson's on a win streak. I wouldn't say win streak, he's coming off a win there in the UFC London card. Yeah, I'm just going to go with Trevor Peek here. I feel like he's going to grapple a lot. He's going to get the fight to the ground. And I feel like Yanal's got some holes there. But then again, I might be wrong. Like, he might have fixed those holes because he hasn't been active for years. So who knows what Yanal's been working on. Yeah, I just don't know. So community is picking 69% for Peek and 31% for Ashmouz. So I'm going to go with Trevor Peek. I don't think he'll get the knockout. I think he'll get a decision win with his grappling. And next up, we've got Matt Schnell versus Alessandro Costa. Matt Schnell's got 2-fight losing streak against Steve Erceg, Nicolau, and he's got a win over Sumaji. So if you see this little weird losing and wins stat line here, you'll see he's lost to guys in the pretty much the top 5, right? All guys that are really well talented in the flyweight division. Sumaji is not too bad of a win. Like Sumaji was coming up there too, but that fight happened a long time ago too. So Matt Schnell, as much as he's good offensively, he's got some nice combinations in the pocket. Mix up his leg kicks. He's very good with his grappling as well and his jiu-jitsu. But the only problem I have with Matt Schnell is that fucking chin's up high, man. I've noticed that's how he's been getting knocked out. So the chin gets cracked over the rounds. He doesn't really tuck it too well. So yeah, going against someone like Alessandro Costa, he does hit hard. He throws a lot of combinations. He's got a knockout win over Borges, and he throws a lot of heavy leg kicks. And he does get taken down a fair bit though, so he could get taken down in this fight as well. He's lost to Erceg and he's lost to Abazi KO. So yeah, look, Matt Schnell could pull off this. Could pull off an upset if he doesn't try to strike too much and uses his grappling. He could get this win against Costa there. I feel like he could. Use his grappling against the fence and wear him down over the rounds and slow him down. But yeah, I can't rely on Matt Schnell's chin, to be honest. So I'm gonna go with Alexandra Costa by knockout. So yeah, a lot of people are gonna go 90% knockout and 10% Schnell. So yeah, I think Schnell's gonna get sent to the shadow realm in that fight. Next up, we've got Jéssica Andrade versus Natália Silva. Andrade here is on a 2-fight win streak against Marina Rodriguez and one against Mackenzie Dern. Before that, 3-fight losing streak. So Jéssica Andrade, she's quite big for the division. Obviously, we all know her for moving forward, throwing combinations, throwing big bombs. Defensively, not that great on the stand-up. She does get hit a fair bit, seen in this fight. So going against someone like Natália Silva, Silva's on a win streak, like against Vivian Araújo. So there won't be obviously any. I wouldn't say there will be any takedowns fights. Probably will be a lot of clinching and whatnot. It's one of those fights where even though the last fight she's won, Natália Silva, like she'll stay on the outside, use her range and throw a lot of leg kicks and side kicks and use a lot of 1-2s and constantly move around the outside, right? But the problem is, what I've noticed is when Natália Silva throws a leg kicks and pops a jab or mixes up the boxing with the leg kicks, the chin's up there too. So it's one of those fights where, and then she had to back her against the fence a couple of times too. And this is going to be a smaller cage, the Apex. So you could have Jéssica Andrade get that knockout, but Natália Silva, she hasn't been TKO'd in the UFC. I think there's a possible chance she could get TKO'd against Andrade, because I saw that in the tape there with Silva where the chin's up while she's moving around after she's throwing combinations and whatnot, and you know Jéssica Andrade could find that chin, so we could potentially see an upset here. And Silva doesn't use any takedowns and shit like that. Not from what we've seen as well in the UFC. So, fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Silva on this fight. Just being technical and constantly moving around, it might be making it hard for Andrade to obviously get the TKO. But I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Jéssica Andrade does knock her out or gets a TKO win. Yeah, her takedown defense is not that great with Jéssica Andrade, so. But this is obviously, I don't think this fight will go to the ground. But yeah, I do vision a knockout coming. I really do. But I'm going to go with Silva. But yeah, I could see a knockout coming. Just that chin up in the air is real suspect from Silva as well. So Silva's a pick there, but low confidence. And then we've got the main event, Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady here. Gilbert Burns coming off a 2-fight losing streak. One against Jack Mandela and one against Muhammad being the champion. Fuck, that's crazy. Look, Gilbert Burns is also getting old too. 38 years old. He's been in a lot of wars. He's got some decent striking, but he also defensively not that great. He does get hit a lot too. He just tries to stay in range, throwing leg kicks, pops the jabs, and uses more of his grappling and wrestling. He does have power. Like, he's knocked out Mayo back in the day, but Mayo was washed too. In his last fight there, he did well to get a single leg. So he's very good at takedown and getting single legs. But Jack did well, you know, get up on the ground there. But and then obviously got that TKO win over Burns there with a knee. So yeah, I feel like in it's a weird matchup with this one, because I feel like Gilbert Burns does have good jiu-jitsu, right? And going against Sean Brady hasn't lost by submission yet in the UFC. This could be potentially the first, because of how high level Gilbert Burns' jiu-jitsu is. But it's one of those matchups where both guys are heavy wrestlers and good grapplers, good BJJ, and both, that's obviously their pedigree. But that might be one of those things where this might end up being like a Usman versus Colby fight, where they both just completely nullify the grappling and the wrestling, and keep it on the stand up. With Sean Brady there, like, yeah, he's come up a win with Kimura against the Fridge, Kelvin Gastelum. He kind of rushes in a bit too, throwing overhands, but he's got, I'm just a bit skeptical with Sean Brady striking. Both guys do. I would say he's better defensively than striking compared to Gilbert Burns. But then again, that's not really saying too much when he got finished by Bilal Muhammad. I feel like Sean Brady would do better on the strike and the stand. He'll constantly move around the outside, throwing leg kicks as well. I feel like he's going to target Gilbert Burns' lead leg. He doesn't do well to try to avoid those leg kicks as well, Gilbert Burns, from what I've noticed with his striking as well. So the leg's always out there to get chewed up by Gilbert Burns as well. But yeah, if he's going to favour striking Gilbert Burns, I feel like he'll get picked apart with leg kicks, and Sean Brady will mix up his combination of striking there. But I can also see Sean Brady getting countered by Gilbert Burns, because I've noticed Gilbert Burns will pop that right hook out and counter some of his opponents there. So yeah, this is a tough matchup. It's definitely 50-50. But I'm gonna go with Brady here. I feel like he's a younger guy, and I feel like his conditioning may be better. If this goes to 5 rounds, I feel like his conditioning is gonna be better than Gilbert Burns. You do see Gilbert Burns tiring out in the later rounds there too, and I feel like now he's getting older, it may play a part. So I'm gonna go with Sean Brady here, low confidence pick, but I may be wrong, and that's okay if I'm wrong with this one. It's all good. But yeah, guys, those are my picks today. It was a bit more slow paced, this video, which is alright. It is what it is. I think my brain's just on overload, and that's why I took my time with this. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like, subscribe, and we'll be back with the O'Malley versus Marotte card, and that one's only got 10 fights on it, which is crazy. So yeah, again, hit the like, subscribe. We'll be back, and I'll try to get some live watch alongs and shit in there. It's just a bit hard at the moment with work and whatnot. So I try to now that I'm starting to build a community, I do appreciate everyone hit the subscribing to my channel and the likes and the comments. I do appreciate you guys. And yeah, even though the Adesanya video versus Drikas took off, I still didn't get the best picks. I got 7 out of 12, but that's alright. It is what it is. You can't win them all. Look, I just do this for my passion and whatnot. Like, and at the end of the day, I do appreciate everyone coming by the channel and whatnot. So I will try to, now that I've built a bit more of a community, I will try to go live and catch up with you all and, you know, see what your thoughts on the fights and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for coming by the channel. Thank you guys for making the channel grow. I appreciate you so much, and that's what makes me keep going week by week. Thank you guys so much. Alright guys, we'll be back with another video, and I hope you guys stay safe and take care. Cheers.